You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the Meta. The Meta controls everything. The Meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh my.
Oh
We're doing
my.
it. We're doing it again. Here we are. Hold on to your hats. Change your screens. Let's figure this out. Okay.
I can't wait to see Asher's picture.
I can't actually see it yet because
Oh.
I'm still on the delay. So
it will in a few seconds.
So you get to see my reaction live when I get to see what his.
Asher made it. I just copied and pasted. So.
Mitani Kool-Aid, and there's just I mean, I guess if he made it himself, he made himself well endowed. So.
Where's Asher? Hi, Asher.
Hello. I have the skills of an artist.
I can see that. I can see that. That's fantastic. All right, so other than Asher having a fantastic stick figure, the main thing that's going on in the galaxy these days is drama.
Yes,
Of the, it's sort of the pettier the better, and that seems to be the nature of the galactic Northwest in the absence of the Imperium. Who could have possibly predicted such a thing?
Yeah, so to start off with our lovely drama, we start with our old friends of the North. I say friends because they've only existed in Eve, from what we found after we left the North, because of goons. And that is Moa. That's our first topic of point. There's a really big, long post from Massadeth about why he's leaving Moa, but the TLDR here is that Moa has turned into pets of NC Dot in order to get scraps off the table, and he was no longer going to be part of it, and he has left to join MC. Oh!
Mythic Myth also.
What the
23 months. That's fantastic.
Why did
Congratulations.
it make
Thank you for subbing.
Uh-oh, what did I break?
Did you break Hypnokitten?
Yeah, what the heck? Where's Hypnokitten?
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not
we're
fine.
still getting a notification. Thank you, Mythic Myth.
Yes, thank you.
for
I
subscribing
saw
for
this.
23 months.
There we go.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
So the thing about Genevieve and so Moa, Mortis Angels, spent their entire existence. They were briefly part of our coalition, and they didn't like to actually be held accountable for anything or do anything. And then they immediately we kicked them out, and then they used this as an excuse as to why we were awful, which is sort of a recurring theme. People say that they want to join us, and then they are told you will have to do X, Y, and Z. They don't do X, Y, and Z. Then when they're removed, we're horrible, awful people, right? Be it Mortis Angels or former directors who are butt blasted. But anyway, so it was the military forces of Mortis Angels were always like a mix between either Genevieve running fleets or Massadeth and his corporation. And so having a falling out, apparently they were basically told that they had to be NC Dot's moon stewards or something, that they couldn't shoot NC Dot or anything like that. And Genevieve bent the knee to NC Dot. And because Massadeth said that they would never ever bend the knee, they proceeded to have like a Reddit posting flame out and went to join Mercenary Coalition.
Right.
So that's a whole thing. And Iceburn subscribed for 22 months.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And Nanok for 9 months, he says, Rifters and Drakes for the win. I don't like the for the win word choice, but hey, if you're going to resubscribe, you can say what you want. But yeah,
Damn straight.
This Genevieve thing, I want to get Asher's opinion on this in a second, but it's kind of hilarious because, I mean, he got donated 800 billion ISK from...
700 billion from
what's his name leaving?
Gablin Goblin,
He left.
who we're already starting to forget.
So when you have 700 billion, why do you need to bend your knee to NC Dot? That's more money than you'll ever need to fly cormorants and frigates the rest of your life, right? Why would you need to get other money? But
Yeah.
unless
but
you're RT.
they don't have it. He has it. He's not going to spend it on their alliance. He has the money himself.
Yeah, because Gevlin gave them the money, and then that just went into the dude's pocket. And just like all these other things, like we saw when, of course, it was just a troll, but when Lenny was talking about giving all the money to Progon Legend, which of course was just a troll, he did not actually give them 1 trillion ISK. But in many of these alliances, whenever any alliance leader gets a windfall, like all the money from I1 ISK that was going into the pockets of the leaders of the MBC during the war, almost all that just went to buy those people Titans. The individuals Titans, and line their own pockets, and so that just never made it to the alliance.
I'm surprised when Masdet flamed out and went to MC, because he's a leader in MC now. He's like running ops and doing like important things for MC. Is that he didn't reveal what happened to all that money, because that 700 billion was just from one guy. That doesn't include the I1IS money. These guys are sitting on trillions when they're flying cormorants. Where did all that money just vanish to, right? And they've also had all these R64s in Pure Blind for like 3 months, so. The fact that this money just ups and vanishes to the point where they're not willing to fight anyone, and their number one dude, Massadet, just says, "Fuck you, I'm out." That's very strange,
Well, it's great for MC. I mean, MC actually, the fact, I'm not really sure whether it's great for MC or not, but it goes to show you what dire straits I guess they're in if having an injection of leadership from Mortis Angels into MC improves MC massively, and MC has actually gained like 100 members in the last month and are really active and all this other sort of stuff. So I'm not sure that that's because Massadeth is doing good or MC was just a pathetic stolen valor shell of its former self with a name masquerading of bullshit that suddenly like they got a guy from Mortis Angels and now they're running around and energized. So
see, I don't even know. Asher, what do you think? I mean, this is a mess.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about that is that Massadet ran about 60 to 70% of their fleets. So I know Genevieve does some fleets, but Massadet really carried most of the water. So it'll be interesting to see that affects them. But it seems like they're not running fleets anymore anyway. It seems like the big split was over the fact that they had become what they hated, which was, a Sov holding, AFK, ratting, farming alliance, rather than the people who hunted them.
Also, Happy Little Bee resubbed for 14 months in a row.
Yep.
Excellent. Make Goonswarm great again. Red Swarm Federation. And HypnoKitty is working. That is excellent. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's interesting where you see... I don't want to get all Randian about it because I'm not an objectivist, but there's a certain degree of commentary to be made about the Imperium taking its ball and going home, right? Like going back to Delve. Screw you guys, we're out of here. And we took our ball and went home, or you could say that and McLeod, 16 months, nice,
yes,
it's fantastic.
Wow, that's a lot of research today.
So either. You could say that we went Galt, basically. Like, I don't like to talk about going Galt or being all objectivist about it, but it is like almost all the things we're going to be talking about in terms of space politics today involve the almost political and psychological destabilization of the Imperium leaving the Northwest. And so suddenly all these people who base their entire identities around having a common enemy of us, when we removed that from them and didn't expend our capital and super capital resources, which they were so desperately wanted, then all of these old conflicts that were just simmering under the surface of the mutual enemy have boiled up out of the surface. So we have Mortis Angels having all of this stuff flipping out, and these two people who were pillars of that community going splits. 10 months. Wow. Kevlar Law. Wow. That is hello. That is 10 months. Excellent.
So far. Yeah, it's nice. So I don't know what to think of it because see with Moa, I guess maybe that's what Genevieve wanted all along. Maybe that's why he was so apt to try and kill us, right? Is so that he could finally have his piece of the farming pie. But they're losing ratting carriers now. They're doing all the things that Moa always touted as the evils of Eve, the cancer that is killing Eve. Massa used to call me on a daily basis that I was a cancer because I would drop a carrier on him, on his roaming fleet, or I dropped my Titan on him, and I was the cancer that killed Eve. And now they're losing ratting carriers to NC Dot on a daily basis.
Well, to be fair, he stuck to his guns. He was like the only one who actually stuck with the principles he believed, however deluded they may be.
Who, Genevieve?
The rest of them... No, Massadet.
Oh, I'm talking about Genevieve. Used to call me the cancer of Eve. So... but yeah, Massadet left, and I don't know, because, see, it's not like MC is a much better place, right? MC are playing in low sec, they're kind of working with some groups, but they never really fight on their own.
Well, now they're staging out of a Keepstar. Like, they are actually doing something that and they're doing it in the Galactic Southeast. So they are actually doing something because of Massadeth coming over there. And you got to give the guy some props for his principles, because like you say, he's one of the few people who actually did something. Now, also, I'm going to back up a little bit. Happy Little Bee wants me to say Red Storm Federation. So there you go, Red Storm Federation, which we do have. We do have kind of a nice thing going on in the Southwest, because we have. We're working with Red Menace Coalition, which is a bunch of Russians, and we obviously have lots of French people still within Goonswarm itself. So it is very, I think it's nice and old school all the way around.
You know what's interesting? You kind of alluded to this earlier. If you're a history nerd, you'll often see that when groups are displaced, when there's a big force that displaces people, Mongols, whatever it is, any kind of Huns, all kinds of groups, that the displacement moves throughout the whole region. So the displaced groups then move on and displace other groups, and they get pushed almost like dominoes. And you're kind of seeing that in EVE right now. We push these people out of Delve. Now they're going into Ketch and pushing people further out of Ketch, and then probably into Wicked Creek next.
The hilarious thing about Ketch, if we want to segue to that. Hey, a new subscriber! Woo! Blast him to hell. Thank you. Is that they're not actually pushing anyone out. As far as, like the Russians and the CVA types are just laughing at them constantly. Now, they are having fair fights where Lumpy does come out okay, but that's when all of EVE comes down to help them. Like Test came down with Loki Fleet that they got obliterated in. They had, PLNC that'll show up once in a while to help their pets and Lumpy, but that's it. When Lumpy doesn't get help from the outside sources, there's no gain there. So while we've pushed them out and maybe they moved into a new home, they're kind of moving into a place that nobody cares about. Like Ketch is just, it's Ketch. Who cares, right?
Well, everybody loves Solve so much.
Right. Yeah, everyone. Well, I love Solve. I love jump bridges. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, it's one of those things where like people don't really want to fight for it. Like you get a chance, you take it, and then you have it. But the actual, I think that what's curious with all these movements is that I don't think that there's anybody that is out there saying at all. And I think next week we're going to have a Nominate, who is a CSM member, as a guest, and he's going to be talking next week about the CSM summit that happened this previous week or two.
Yeah, we're waiting on the
minutes out yet.
We're waiting on the minutes to come out. They had to delay them a week, so.
I would be shocked if anybody in the CSM was like, yeah, the SOV system is awesome. In fact, I would be shocked if anybody is like, yeah, the SOV system is awesome. Maybe we can go back to talking about this in a sensible and rational way now that there's no big galactic war going on. Because when we talked about it during the war, everybody was like, oh, well, you're just saying it's a bad system because you're losing your space. And
yeah, a lot of
they had that FC.
I'm sorry.
They had that FC panel that I was on where it was basically they invited a bunch of FCs to kind of give their views on the SOV system. And it was basically universal that no one liked it. Every group was represented. And pretty much the only one who had something positive to say about it was a guy who lived in Losec. So that's always a bad thing when the only people who like your system are those who don't participate in it. But what was interesting about that was they were like, well, we're going to give them ideas, them being CCP, ideas of like what's wrong with the SOV system, but we aren't going to give them any suggestions because we don't want to step on any toes. So they didn't want to have any proposals on how to fix it. Just tell them that it's wrong. So at least that information hopefully was conveyed by someone.
Well, from what I've heard from multiple sources in the CSM, I'm talking about like 5, 6, 7 of them, is that this CSM was the first time that the CSM got together and they weren't pushing their own specific individual objective,
except for Bob-on.
Right, except for me. I don't know. I wasn't there. But they said it felt like it was more of let's try to fix this shitty game rather than let's see who we can make better in the end, like it has in the past. Especially when it was a PL dominated one, there tended to be a lot of like, hey, we need to fix jump bridges because we say so and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know if I was told that there was a drinking game about Bobmon, and this had nothing to do with anything that was NDA'd. It's just that every time I did hear it was a very united CSM, which is good, and that this was the first time in a while that had been the case, and that they all worked together very well, and they had a little drinking game that every time Bobmon would try to push something that was just blatantly self-serving, they would make a note and then have to do shots afterwards, and they quickly realized that if you actually made a note of every time Bobmon said something that was venal, self-serving, and transparent, that they would literally die of alcohol poisoning. But other than that, it sounds like it was a pretty good CSM all the way around. I wish I was making that up, but I'm not terribly surprised by any of that.
All right, so hold on. Someone was just asked in chat, and they've been watching the show for a long time, and they've really gotten this answer. The CSM is there as like a go-between. CCP present ideas to CSM. The CSM speak. They're kind of like the Senate of the United States, right? They speak for the people. Like they have they're a grouping of people that were voted on by people that play EVE to speak for the people in front of CCP. They answer questions. They come to solutions. CCP look to them for feedback. If CCP fuck up something really bad, they immediately call the CSM and say, "Okay, come to Iceland. We need help. We need help. We fucked up. Help." So they're that kind of thing. Who knows if they actually listen? Hey, another 23 months.
Schwaboy, wow.
Schwanuts. That's Schwanuts. So yeah.
I know. Nuts. 23 months. Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
But yeah,
So-
you've been on the CSM, so you know. I mean, what they
Maybe.
do. I've never been there, so. They,
Well, I mean, the CSM has gone through its good times and its bad times. I mean, it was horribly
Right.
mismanaged for the last couple of years because, I mean, Lilu and Falcon had to be removed from anything to do with the CSM
Right.
because they tried to blame it on Scion, and they tried to make it this whole thing. But whenever Scion or Sugar Kyle or Corbex would speak out, they tried to act like everything was peachy. And they got removed from having to do with the CSM, and there was a big drama about it.
Right.
And, you know, this is the first summit for a post-Lilu, post-Falcon CSM, and it's going to be curious to see how it plays out in terms of the minutes.
Yeah.
And regardless of the minutes, what's going to be more curious is to see, will CCP listen? Will it actually make a difference? Okay, so first of all, Wild has subscribed.
Yeah,
for
11 months, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wild.
And we have some hilarious commentary, 2 comments in a row from Rogue Gamers, one of which was that I should grow my goatee back because I think that I should totally be taking advice from him about my fashion. Girls really don't like me, and so no matter what I do, I'm never going to be attractive, so I figured I'll just be lazy. And then he's also saying, Mittens bro, you are just mad because Scion is not on CSM. We
got
have 3
CSM. Yeah.
representatives from the Imperium on CSM, and Scion didn't want to do it.
We
That was
can't-
a funny thing about the no science rules is that Falcon and Lilu did this whole thing about the no science drama when we had already been planning on not running him,
Right.
and they tried to make this big stink about the fear of him running and sort of bug zapped themselves politically, and that was hilarious because
So, speaking of your fashion, people say I look younger. That's because I get rid of my beard. When I get rid of my beard and I'm not fat, I look like I'm 20, even though I'm not, and it drives my girlfriend nuts. So I have to keep some semblance of this here. Otherwise, it's bad. Like Matani, he could actually get rid of all his and be fine. I can't. I'm not allowed.
only now that I'm almost 40. Right? I mean, I
Wait,
still
what?
get
I thought
carded,
you were
but-
like 20. I was like, what? No.
Yeah, I'm 38 years old. So actually, if I had the goatee for a while, and when I got rid of it, I mean, I was still getting carded with the goatee, but now I've finally begun to lose a little bit of baby fat. When I was younger, it was, oh, I had a baby face. When I was in my early 30s, it was, oh, this is really cool. Like, I still look youthful. Now that I'm almost 40 and I still get carded every fucking day, it's getting more to be like Portrait of Dorian Gray, sold my soul to Satan, bathed in the blood of my enemies, devoured their souls, something or other like that to maintain my unnatural youth. But yeah, no, getting old is hilarious, especially when you still look like you're in your early 20s.
Maybe it's just
kinda
because you
strange.
play video games in club all day. Ever considered that?
That's true. I mean, you know, I think that really so in beauty magazines, like in Cosmopolitan, they should have like the Matani beauty routine and
Oh my
basically
God.
say, okay, girls, all you need to do is play video games, never see the sun, and go clubbing constantly, and you know, drink really too much and party too much, and all you do is fucking party, and then your skin will look fantastic. For some reason, other people who go clubbing too much, it seems to wear on them, though. I don't get it. Anyway, let's get back to Eve stuff.
Yeah, sorry. All right, so next topic is looks like the Darkness Coalition is in full cascade mode, and I say Darkness Coalition because Darkness is fine, but the actual Darkness Coalition, which I don't even know what the hell they used to call it,
Dumpster Co.
Dumpster Co. is in the middle of falling apart. So in the last couple weeks, Tissue moved into M5Y and joined PL. In that area, and basically Tissue did its failed cascade, got rid of everyone, and then kept its elite PvPers. Joined PL, and the first thing they did was turn their eyes on Branch. Over the last week, they've been dropping nothing but Titan super carriers, no subcaps, and Branch, and just been shitting all over it. The guys in Branch that own the Solve have been looking to Darkness and going, please help. Look, we're tackling these guys all the time, and you're not coming to help us. And now they're evacing. They're calling themselves Seed Nullius, and they plan on joining the Black Sheep Coalition in the south. and they're going to do a
The
full evac.
Black
So
Sheep. So where is the Black Sheep Coalition?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I've never heard of it.
Wicked Creek.
I mean, I guess that's the Wicked Creek guys, the ones that so Darkness kicked out like half of their coalition about a month ago, and those guys went to Wicked Creek, and that's the ones Stunt Flores has been farming, and then they call themselves the Black Sheep Coalition. Yeah, that's what those guys are. And then now the rest of Darkness Coalition is saying, "Fuck this! Darkness isn't helping us. We're out." So.
I mean, this is one of those things that surprised me, and we get to sit back and, there's a fine line between political commentary and gloating, right? And
Right.
so, what I'm about to say is going to come off as being very smug and gloating, but I really don't give a shit, so whatever. Many of the things that we said during the War on the Meta Show that were going to happen have now explicitly, and now each week as we see more political disintegration, infighting, and our enemies of the NBC who said that they would be friends forever and blah, blah, blah. Just the sheer amount of bitterness, not merely resetting each other for good fights and, having content or whatever, but actual real personal animus, enmity, not having anything in common. And this is all stuff that we said was going to happen. And it has. And that was a little meme for a while from what I remember. People saying, oh, cracks forming, Mittani spin. And now some of these people are literally paying us to harass each other. Like Stunt Flores has been getting paid by our enemies to kill our enemies with what is functionally now a Viceroy program.
Yeah.
Which everybody said was totally not going to work.
Speaking of which, just like that right there, this got leaked this week. Stunt was not trying to get this to be public, but apparently someone got a hold of this, a guy named Disgruntled, and decided to share this with everyone. But Stunt Flores has been paid a sum of $10 billion by Sword himself. Stunt's been running around going, look, I'm going to bring my whole group and I'm going to fuck you guys up unless you pay me. Stunt realized that these guys wouldn't pay Stunt to fuck off, so what's he do? Sword pays them $10 billion and says, "Go have fun." So
I think and so there's a dichotomy here. Like our viewers who are in the Imperium don't have the whole Mittani is spinning thing because they've seen long-range predictions pan out and things like that. So there's this dichotomy. Like to our guys, we say these guys are going to infight and look, it's going to happen. And then like Peace and Pork says, this is really coming as a surprise because everybody knows that Sword Dragon is a shithead, basically. But to the people who are on the NBC and commenting in the chat channel during the course of the war, there was this, vehement insistence that everything is going to be peachy. And similarly, like with the Viceroy program, I think one of the things that's fascinating about this, so the Viceroy program, for people who were unaware of it, we came up with it before World War B started. We'll just call it World War B for the sake of ease now, because everybody's having so much fun with that. The idea was that we would point a gun at people by threatening their moons and conquer territories without actually owning Sov, because pretty much everybody in EVE who is involved in Sov Nullsec is looking for a way to not engage in FozzieSov. Right? There are a few people like the Fremen who like to engage in FozzieSov to mess with people, but they are a small minority. And then our enemies said at great length, though, the Viceroy system didn't work, because the reality was that when you threaten people and say, we're going to take your moons and thus your source of alliance income unless you pay us, that doesn't impact the individual very much. And they don't care. They say, oh, well, it's tragedy of the commons kind of situation. But what Stunt kind of figured out, he reverse engineered the Viceroy program and realized that by attacking and harassing the Ratters, the line members within an area, you could actually effectively inflict enough personal anguish upon these people to get paid extortion money.
Right.
So, like I said with the Viceroy program to begin with, well, we're going to try this, we're going to see if it works. Okay, it didn't work. We'll come back to it later. And I'm pretty excited by what Stunt has pulled off. And I love the fact that he's gotten our enemies paying each other, paying us to have us kill them.
Well, it's
perfect.
almost like the Roman analogy, right? The citizens in Rome aren't going to care what's happening in England, but they're going to care if they're getting their parties and their gladiatorial fights, and if you're feeding the masses in Rome, then who gives a fuck about the rest? So it's the same thing with this, is if you take away the food, which is the Ratters, the miners, and all that, they're going to look at their leaders and go, what the fuck? You told me I could safely rat here, I could safely farm here, you better fix this. And then that causes turmoil from the bottom up. Which is hilarious. I don't think EVE, you only see that EVE as much as you do in other places. Boat logic, yeah, I don't give a fuck. But here's an interesting point, though, is that us getting out of the way in the north, taking away that mutual enemy, taking away the funding, because, I mean, they're not, Lumpy's not, or whoever that guy is that funds them.
Lenny, not Lumpy.
Lenny,
Lumpy's German
Lenny.
Alliance.
Whoever, Lenny funding them to kill us, if we're not there, there's no funds. There's no mutual enemy. So these guys just turn, they get food. They're food to PL. NC Dot and PL have been farming them since we left, and we should have left earlier. I mean, what do you think, Asher? Should we have left a couple months earlier and just laughed as they killed each other earlier? Or?
No, I mean actually we had some pretty good times fighting in there, and I think that they needed to throw their full tantrum before that they could anyway.
If they hadn't settled in, I mean, that's the other thing about it, is that
Yeah.
you couldn't actually leave until the enemy put down roots, right? So once they started throwing down keep stars and fighting the Garistas Menace instead of fighting in the war, they became more addicted to becoming the CFC 2.0. And at that point, then you could go wherever the hell you wanted in the galaxy without risk of them following, because they were just going to stay in branch ratting.
That's the best part about this, is all of these people came together, especially the Darkness group, to get Darkness's Keepstar online, to get P-Horde's Keepstar online. But that's just Darkness, right? Darkness owns the keys. If they want to kick out their other alliances, they can, and Darkness is known to be complete assholes. So all these people did all this work to secure Darkness in space, but they didn't really think to secure themselves. There's no Keepstar in Branch, there's no Keepstar in Tenal, and there's nowhere for them to hide from the endless onslaught of Titan super carriers, where a Keepstar could do that. And so I think it's kind of ironic that all these people put all this work in for a guy like Sword Dragon, who has a long, long history of just saying, yep, fuck you, I got mine, see you later. So.
Well, I mean, he needed to do a GoFundMe to get a new
Right.
computer. Or three. I mean, that's not even a joke, right? Like, that's the thing. It sounds like a punchline, but like that literally happened a couple of times.
Or if you, I think the latest one that caused a lot of rift was he did a GoFundMe to get for money for a kid, but the country at which he lived in pays for all of that, so he didn't even need the money. Oh, a donation!
MITTAN, I please
Speaking of
adopt
needing money,
MITTAN, I books proposal
multi-dollar
in
medium
AAD
hire. Thank you very much for the donation. I haven't seen it pop up on the screen yet. But
Yeah, it's from
MITTAN.
Diogens. It says.
Bucks equals Pep links, thanks.
Diogenes.
Oh, it's the same thing he linked in the fireside.
Diogenes.
Remember
Diogenes,
when I had
whatever.
Boat pronounce the name of Eve ships? I should have him pronounce
Yes.
the name of Eve players next
Oh,
time.
I've always called him
Next time I'm
Diogens. I
on.
don't care. He says,
Matani
Matani,
Bucks
please.
proposal.
It's the thing he linked in
He's-
Elysium earlier. He's been,
I just glanced through it. It seems like it's Gevlin bucks, but for us.
Yeah.
The Gabloons or whatever. Not Gevlin, Goblins.
Goblins Bucks.
Yeah, where you get some sort of, I don't know, some sort of benefit for defending Ratters or something. I just glanced at it.
There's a lot of
just-
capital letters here.
it's just funny he's willing to donate to get you to pay attention to it after you didn't even
I don't
notice
pay
it.
attention to it.
Big Bill the boss.
Dude,
calling
calm.
Lenny-
That's right. I don't care. Fuck you. They're making fun of my pronouncing the names. I call him Dude Calm.
Why would they make fun of you pronouncing things, Bo?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Why would anybody mock the way that you pronounce things?
you know what? That's the worst
Big
part.
Bill the
of it.
boss. Big Bill the boss has been calling Lenny Kravitz. He's been lately calling him Lend Me Kravitz or Krabbits, and I really like that name. Lend Me
Krabbits. Wow.
Oh, what's the character from SpongeBob? We can call him the crab from SpongeBob, the one that's always obsessed with money.
I
Mr.
don't
Krabs.
watch SpongeBob.
Lenny, Oh, I watch it with my nephew all the time. It's hilarious.
Sure.
No, I already. No, he read it. Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on right now. I'm lost.
I'm very confused.
You took us
DBRB
off our
is-
topic. Boat calling target's the best thing ever. Well, no, not really. Wait, why is links getting deleted?
All right, so we're going to go get back on topic here. We were talking
Yes,
about
sorry.
destabilization in the north, and we were talking about these people infighting and investing in
Yeah,
infrastructure.
so it's actually kind of hilarious too as we shift from the northwest, that far left corner of Branch, and we shift over towards Tribute and Test and CO2. Test is home. They went home from us a couple weeks ago, but since they've been home, there hasn't been a sighting of Vili or any of the other leaders. I think we've seen a Pro-God fleet once where he took out Lokis and lost all his Lokis in the south, and I haven't heard from him since. But there hasn't been much up there. Like, CO2 and Test are in, like, full farm mode, and there really is no pressure from PLNC Dot anymore. I don't know where that disappeared to or went. I guess they're having so much fun in Branch, they just left those two alone. But there isn't much there either. So like, it's not, outside of the infighting. It's like whenever PL points their gun at someone, all the news comes from that direction, right? And there hasn't been much news otherwise. Shield.
Well, I mean, from a certain perspective, I mean, that's not entirely true. It was within this last week that we saw a CO2 Fortizar, which was actually owned by Black Omega Security, get destroyed by, I believe it was PL who did that.
That did happen
but
this week. I forgot about that.
That's right. That was
I'm
this
sorry,
week. So
I tend to forget
it's
about
not
that stuff.
merely that like you know, they are getting farmed by PL, but
Oh!
PL continues to go after CO2, which is hilarious.
See, Asher got me off track. I do have that as my next link. It is the Fortizar kill. 500 people showed up to kill it, including NC Dot bringing the hammer. They brought Macario Fleets.
NC Dot, not did PL come to this also?
No,
I'm
PL
seeing-
did. Horde did. Horde brought a Maelstrom fleet, a 200-man Maelstrom fleet, with a 200-man NC Dot Macario fleet. Some renters or randoms tried to bring.
They brought probably Spectre Fleet,
Cormorants.
because Spectre Fleet is not actually a neutral entity at all.
Right,
and
Spectre
never
Fleet
has
showed
been.
up to do their bidding for NC Dot, and then Brave Newbies tried to show up with a 100-man Cormorant fleet. I think it was Brave and Spectre, and they got inside the range of the PDS, and the entire fleet was vaporized the second they arrived.
So there was two CO2 Fortizars. One died in
Yeah.
X70, as Jay just pointed out, as well as the one that we linked. So we're seeing pretty heavy infrastructure destruction taking place there, and it is always interesting to see Black Omega Security having left the alliance that they founded, which is the OSS, to join up with CO2.
Right.
I think that is deeply ironic and sort of adorable.
See, the best part about this is according to the history of the founding of the World War B situation, is that Suis was like a big part in this. He was one of the original founders, yet he's the one getting shit on the most. He's lost 3 Fortizars to PL and NC Dot. He's doesn't really have a home. I mean, he's couch shitting with CO2 because they're awesome or something. But he's lost everything that he had. He lost all his syndicate stuff to Initiative. He lost all of his holdings in Vedal now to PL and NC Dot. And now he's losing all his Spirit Blind Citadels. So what does he actually get out of... Like, what did he get? I mean, he sure maybe got some ISK, but... Go ahead,
Think about
sorry.
all the venal entities that helped during the Casino War. They're losing all their moons now to PL right now. So,
Right.
you know, it's just the whole thing is like you said. It's pretty funny because you're seeing what was very clear to us and what we called, but
Explicitly, over
yeah.
and over and over again on the show.
There was such a state of, it was almost like a hysteria. Just you know when you have like riots or even pogroms, like you have these people like so angry that they won't listen to reason, and then like later on they're like, yeah, I don't really know why we acted like that.
Yeah, why did we torch our own neighborhoods? Why did we firebomb our own cars?
It's a video game, so it's a little different, but it's the same kind of thing where we like clearly explained this is what happened, and they still made it happen.
Yeah,
I
agree
just think
with
it's
that,
fantastic. I mean, you know, all these people were told in advance what would happen. They were warned repeatedly, and it was simply written off as that we were spinning. And, you know, I think that the example of what happened to Suis is quite instructive. You know, he was, like I say, it was revealed in the Bosun Codex, which is all available on Goonfleet.com and the Helldom subforum, so you don't have to believe what I'm saying. You can always read the history of the
The
Pastebins
words
yourself.
from him. Yep.
From the Pastebin papers, that instead of, I mean, we gave credit loudly to Killa B from PL in the war because we wanted to drive everybody else who did all the work crazy. So we were always talking up Killa B, and we'll continue to do so. And the funny thing is that I can say this, I could literally say this on live TV and tell you what we're doing, and it just doesn't matter.
The best. Well, hold on a second though. You say that the best part about that is we did so much effort to make Killer B the face. Is that now they're doing their documentary, they're using Killer B as the inspiration. He was the guy that did all the work. He's the guy that made it happen. And all these people are like, yeah, why the fuck am I here because of this? Oh, it's great. They're using Killer B. Like, I haven't seen Killer B in 3-4 months, 5 months now. I think April was the last time I saw him, and I haven't even seen him FCing lately. So... Oh, wow.
am shocked.
Jay, that's...
So, fundamentally speaking, what we have here is a whole bunch of people who had advance warning that this would happen, and you're seeing one by one some of the people who were really major parts or attempted to be major parts within the Casino War get what's coming to them. So, I mean, Suis his alliance doesn't exist functionally anymore because he left his core corp, brought it out of the alliance, joined CO2, who are now known for everyone as being traitors, which is why every one of and every one of CO2's allies, except for Test, because Test sided with CO2 in the fight against PL and NC Dot. Where was Test to help defend this Fortizar?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Is
where was
that
Test?
At the same time this Fortizar died, CO2 had 50 carriers and dreads reinforcing a PL moon that was dropped in PL space. Or not PL space, it's CO2 space, right dead center. So it wasn't like they weren't active. They had like 350 people online in CO2. Test had 200 something online. They just didn't go defend it. It's like they didn't give a fuck about Suis, which is kind of ironic because Suis is such a big, integral part of CO2 now that he's running all these fleets and doing all these things and deployments, and
couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Meanwhile,
I've got something to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
Have you guys seen ProGod Legends' latest fleet concept?
Yeah, Shield Loki's again.
I haven't. Tell us about it, Asher.
Yeah, I gotta hear this.
He's sorry.
That bad?
He's trying. Yeah, it's that bad.
Oh god.
He has decided, for some reason that is beyond me, to run artillery shield Lokis.
Mittens can
So he's bringing them back.
Keep star.
By the way,
Thanks in
that's
advance
a
less
fleet
than
concept
3.
that I believe he stole from Space Monkeys Alliance, who are the only other group I've seen seriously try it in the last 3 years.
No.
And it was an incredible failure then.
Now that you bring it up, he used it when he was in Nully. That was his. Remember, he used to use it with super carrier support versus the Russians. It was a shield Loki.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He did use
Mittens, can you kill? We have a donation here from
Yes, I see that.
Well, can you kill the Myla Keepstar Thanks in Advance? Is that the one that's the charity?
He
Citadel?
wants us
it's
to
the
kill the
charity
charity
Keepstar.
one. Which
So
is,
that continues to just be dumb as all hell. Like that whole Care for Kids guy is named everything after Care for Kids, and it's really just a self-aggrandizing piece of shit.
and that's the
under
thing, too.
PL.
he even has.
And how dare you say anything mean about a charity? It's a charity citadel, blah blah blah. Conveniently, I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's the truth, and if you disagree with it, I don't care. So,
Yeah, well,
Mittens, have you seen our charity Soft Holdings in Delph?
yeah, that's right. Actually, everything in Delve is actually a charity. Also,
Yeah.
it's a charity to goons and their families. And how dare you attack anything? How dare you attack anything? I've actually just declared I'm opening a 501c3 nonprofit foundation for the betterment of
Autism. It's dedicated to autism.
Goonkind, and we'll have some donations to various charities. And how dare you, sir? How dare you suggest that? These people, they just get high off outrage. Like, outrage is literally like biochemically like a high. So they try to find themselves a bloody shirt and say, like, oh, this thing is for charity. And then knowing that you'll point at it and say that's dumb. And then they get to act surprised. How dare you question my intentions? I have the purest intentions. So, like,
the best thing about that Care for Kids thing is that they made a alliance to take Solve because they wanted to give Care for Kids Solve. And then when people started to kill them and kill their Solve, they started going on Reddit going, what the heck? This is for kids. We're a charity group. So they're trying to do the same thing over again. And so every time PL drops a Keepstar or a Fortizar, we call it a Care for Kids Fortizar because why not? It's ridiculous. I don't know. All right, I want to go on a little bit here.
Well, hang on a second. Let's go back to the Shield Loki's thing because I want to hear why that was partially my fault because I went off on the Mila thing after we got the donation. So, but Asher, tell me why. Assume that I am someone who knows very little about Fleet Doctrines or EVE Online, because of course I know nothing about EVE or about Fleet Doctrines at all. Why are Shield Lokis such a dumb idea, especially when they have Artie?
Well, they're hard to fit, and they don't have a lot of slots in the mids. So you get one prop mod and then only 4 slots for tank. So compared to other T3s, which have a lot of tank, they do not have the tank. The other ones do. And what you're getting essentially is gussied up hurricanes, but not with not much more survivability comparatively to, especially compared to like a Proteus or something that's even a Tengu is much stronger than like a shield Loki. Lokis are always been kind of weird, but the only way to run them is as armor webbing ships with almost no guns. Like that's the only way they're useful in a giant fleet. Otherwise, they're just there's just no good way to configure a Loki. It actually would be nice if CCP would come out with a way to make a shield Loki work. Like it should work. They are Minmatar, but they don't.
Well, it works on paper, and the reason it works on paper is you can't bomb them.
It does look good.
You can't bomb them. It takes 90 bombs to kill them. So when you look at a shield Loki, you're like, oh, I could just bomb that. No, you can't because their sig is really low. But in terms of surviving in a fleet brawl, they just get alphaed off the field, right? I think the Russians use rattlesnakes, and they just alpha them, right? The missile volley hits, and boom, they're dead. On paper, they look amazing, but in reality, you're trying to do too many things at once. You're trying to sig tank, you're trying to shield tank, which those are conflicting.
Doesn't work.
And then you're trying to use artillery, medium artillery, which you could just do better on a Hurricane, right? If you're going to suicide a fleet, why not just use a Hurricane, right? So, thanks for your 12 months resubscribe.
Some people are bringing up that Pro God bombed me once, so I can't ever mention anything about.
Yeah, I saw that guy in capital letters. I just kind of ignored it because it was hilarious. But
yeah,
it's to be fair, we killed 40 Bill worth of shit with the Artie Lokis. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're still shit doctored. Like, okay, cool, shit smells good at the moment, but it's still gonna be shit later. I mean,
this is sort of a tortured analogy, but I mean, it's kind of like a poker hand, right? Like
a wonderful proverb.
Yeah, you can win or you can lose a hand in poker, playing badly. With the wrong strategy and be rewarded for it. So you can deploy SERPs. And, fuck ups happen, losses happen. You can't advance or learn anything unless you're willing to fail. So you can run a good doctrine, and Asher will lose fleets because everybody loses fleets. But the mere fact that a given doctrine actually wins an engagement occasionally doesn't necessarily mean that suddenly it's great.
Right. So I want to go back to, we were talking about the Care for Kids thing, and I want to go on a little bit of a rant here. Something I've never understood, and EVE is the only game I have ever played in my existence of life that they've done this, where it's a bad thing to go after someone's charity event in a video game. It's a video game, right? To me, it's a video game. If I want to pipe bomb you, if I want to bomb you, if I want to dishonorably drop 20 Titans, and you're roaming around in EVE for charity, or you're roaming around in EVE because one of your friends died, I'm sorry, I'm going to do it, right? And I get a lot of diplomatic stuff where our diplos will come to me and say, Bo, please don't blow this fleet up. It's coming through. We've already told them we won't bother them. But why? It's a fucking video game, right? Just blow them the fuck up. I don't care if it's a charity citadel. I don't care if it's a charity fleet because you want to light some sinos somewhere. If you want to light some sinos somewhere, go do it on the test server, right? I don't ever see the point in this. EVE's the only game where people get vehemently mad. There was 1,000 comments when I pipe bombed some Spectre fleet roam, right? And they were all like,
"Oh yeah, that was the duplicity. That was
right.
That was during World War B."
Yeah, and they're like, "I hope DBRB dies." There was a lot of hate for a video game.
Let me explain why it was
go ahead.
duplicitous. They had a charity roam, right, or whatever it was, and then they took their charity fleet and started intosising our SOV. And then they got mad that we came and shot them. It'd be like, so what we should do? We should go and we should take a charity roam to shoot that Keepstar, and they get mad when people try to stop us because it's a charity event.
Better. Do a charity burn Jita. Every freighter we kill, we donate to a charity, and they can't get angry at us because
that's
blowing
right.
up freighters.
Anybody who tries to stop us is
right. Yeah, they're interfering with charity because for every freighter we kill, we're going to donate to a cause with ISK. And so if they we donate all the loot to a cause. There you go. We blow up every freighter, and all the loot goes to CCP.
Burn Jita for children.
Yes! Burn Jita for children! Yes! And I think our members would love it. And this is a great idea on the Meta Show. You heard it here first, folks. And then anyone that tries to kill our suicide ships, or anyone that goes, well, Frederick Genkin's bad, they're against the kids. They're against children.
I think that's fantastic.
That's actually a great... people are actually loving this idea. That's hilarious. I can't believe it.
I mean, I just am sick of the hypocrisy of it. I mean, hypocrisy is as common as hydrogen, right? And everybody's a hypocrite sometimes. It's just sort of the nature of humanity. But, the other thing that's weird about EVE and this whole kids charity thing is if it was a game that children ever played, like EVE is the worst possible game to have anything to do with children at all. It's Somalia in space. You shouldn't have your kids playing EVE. So why are you all like, oh my god, we need to have a kids charity in EVE Online, the least child-friendly game on the planet?
I don't think the charity is for getting kids to play EVE. It's to help kids.
But it's an EVE-related children's charity.
I mean, I understand.
Like, if it was something involving Broadcast for Reps, or if it was something involving autism, or if it was something
if it's for adults, right? Kids should not be playing this game.
Or something that would make sense. But I don't think, oh wow, EVE Online charity kids. What?
Jay's come up with the acronym. I think it's Jay. It's Burn Cheetah for Kids.
Oh my god!
EJ for Kids. We have to do this now! This has to happen! I'm gonna make
Well,
this happen.
Goons ruin everything, and so it's on us. Instead of me just
Yes!
complaining about like, the idea of children's charities, we should burn Cheetah for the kids.
And then the BJ for kids.
I'm, you know, if we're gonna do it, I will say it burn Cheetah for kids, and if people abbreviate it how they choose to abbreviate it, I can't stop them. It's a free country. It's a free internet. So,
Hashtag BJ for
Cheetah
kids.
for kids.
Yes.
That is.
I'm gonna do
yes,
this. I have a new refound goal. I want to do this. Do like a 24-hour stream marathon with it. It'd be like
burn Cheetah for the kids, and you know
we
will not put the acronym up because that could be misinterpreted. We wouldn't want it to be misinterpreted as anything because
no, it's a video game. I mean,
proper.
Of course.
So we'll in the title we'll say "Burn Cheetah for Kids," and it's been a while since we've burned Cheetah, right?
Yes.
And you know. Maybe this is a conversion moment. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe I have been wrong.
We have seen the light!
That these charities for children are a bad thing, and it is time for Goonswarm to embrace the EVE Online Charity for Kids movement, and the best way for us to do this is to burn Cheetah for the children.
Look at Alicia!
Who could possibly disagree with burning Cheetah for the children? And Elysium, we have everyone here Xing up for burning Cheetah for the children.
This is why I love this show.
You know, I was wrong. I was wrong. We need children's charities and EVE Online, and it's time that Goonswarm
join the cause.
Realize
yes!
that the Imperium as a whole goes to, you know, engage in a charity event for children.
And we can literally do this.
I mean,
to get serious, so CCP doesn't ban us all because they take charities very serious. If you actually do a charity, is that you just take all the loot, turn it into a plex, and then hand it to CCP. Here's 100 plex. Ta-da.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about these charities is that, you know, besides burning Cheetah for the kids, which we're totally going to do, that's not a joke. We are going to do it now.
Yeah.
We're going to set the planning in motion, and everybody's all fired up about it. So get ready, and Mini Love is now on notice to plan for this. It's going to happen. But that's the thing about these charities is that anybody's just like, oh, I'm running a charity. Like there is this whole, if I remember correctly, Iron Bank did some sort of big Blow Up Our Titans charity event, which actually turned into the ISK that was donated for that. Almost none of it went to charity. They used it to try to start up their own casino or something or other. And you know, there's no oversight.
Oh, donation.
Burn Cheetah for kids. I follow back BJ for kids.
That donation. We got a $5 donation. It says burn Cheetah for kids. I fully back BJ for kids. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. But no.
Says I can't wait until hashtag burn Cheetah for kids is trending on Twitter.
Yeah. So seriously though, they the Iron Bank thing. I know a little bit about that. Is that they got into a lot of shit with Reddit and CCP. Oh, another donation. Here we go.
I need donations. Get it.
I need donations. Get it? Help me. Oh God, it's Shirar. He says, help my drink cum charity. So Shirar donates with the weirdest names. One of his most famous ones is Drink Cum Big Parch Throat. And Thanks, Shirar, for your donation.
Sirhan says Beach for kids for short.
You might want to just stop reading comments.
God, I'm
all right. So no, seriously though, when they had that charity Titan kill, they got a lot of shit, and CCP had to make an official rule that if you try to scam a charity, that we will ban you. Because what happened was they did this thing where, okay, come kill our Titan, donate all this money, we'll turn it into Plex, we'll give it to CCP. But what they really did is they blew up the Titan, but they didn't pay for the Titan beforehand. So they took the $100 billion they made from the charity thing and then threw it at the Titan pilot and said, here's your Titan back. Sorry. So the money never even went to charity. Like, it went to themselves. So the CCP had to make her. Oh my God, I'm still laughing about this. I can't believe we came up with this.
Well, I mean, it's going to happen now. It's been a while since we burned Cheetah, and we need a good reason. We did burn Amar for a bit because it would be more thematic, and now we'll have an excuse. I mean, we can. And the other thing
before
is,
Vegas too.
We can just lie. I mean, we won't be in charge of any kind of actual charitable donations. We're just going to tell people we're going to burn Cheetah for the kids because this whole charity thing is dumb. There's going to be no actual donations. We're just going to murder people and tell them that we're doing it for kids. And how dare you suggest that our charity is
right. How are you going to complain to CCP that our you know what? Alpha clones. Alpha clones is happening soon, so you can use an alpha clone to gank and Cheetah, can't you?
I
Or
don't
is
think
it
it's
green
as
only?
effective because we use things that have better guns and stuff like that. In
Oh,
theory, you
right,
could,
right.
but alpha clones are coming in November, and
That's
you
right.
know, I think that we need to burn Jita for the kids.
Yes,
And
I
I don't want to
agree.
wait until November to do that. I mean, ideally speaking, we'd burn Jita for the kids before E Vegas, just
That'd be
because
oh
That'd be
perfect.
sooner.
they.
Yeah. Yeah. There's kids dying. Get them those BJ's quick.
Oh my god!
Asher, your picture now actually helps with this discussion.
I
Oh.
wow. Well, it's going to happen, and I want to make sure. So, one of the things that bothers me is this smug, self-righteous crap about charities from people who are full of shit. So, the way that we can handle that is to be as smug and self-righteous at Vegas. So, if we do this before E-Vegas, we can go to E-Vegas, and whenever it comes up, we'll just talk constantly about how we're better than everybody else because we ran a charity for kids, and we burned Jita for the kids.
That would be a great discussion. Just be like, walk up and CCP interviews you and say, "What did you do at EVE Online recently?" Well, I gave a blood shot to a kid.
Wait, what?
So-
that is not what BJ stands
That's
for. you
what?
pervert.
That's what it
Jita.
says right here. Oh, Burgit, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. I'm sorry.
Burn Jita for kids.
No donation.
No,
Oh,
you're out of
shit.
line.
Donations.
Bo.
Oh,
That's-
shit.
I don't know where you got that idea.
Okay, hold on a second. We have a $5 donation from Drink Come Make Against Cancer. I need more donations.
So what we're gonna
I'm
have
sorry,
to
I
do
was
here
mistaken.
is, yeah, I just don't even know. Well, we'll spin it up. We'll do it. The sooner the better. And you know what we'll do is when people don't undock their freighter, we'll take the same thing that they said to us in the casino war, and we'll throw it at them and we'll say, "How dare you not undock your freighter into our guns to provide content for children? Why aren't you burning Jita? Burning
Why
your
aren't you
freighter
helping the
kids?
people? That's right. That's right.
Why do you hate freedom? Why are you not providing content? You owe us content. We are entitled to the content of your freighter because, of course, we're entitled because we're running a charity. And how dare you, sir, for not undocking your freighter into our guns for kids? Yeah, this is going to happen. So we're actually running out of time because we have
Yes,
had
we
this
are.
fantastic idea, and we are now going to go into implementation mode to make sure that Burn Jita for Kids happens. Because sometimes an idea comes along and you can't just miss that at all.
Well, in honor of the charity thing, I want to do a charity giveaway of 1 billion ISK to whoever uses the hashtag in chat. Let me make sure I set this up right. Hashtag BJ for Kids. If you use that hashtag in the chat channel, I'll give you 1 billion ISK when we do our giveaway here. Let me see. I have a keyword. Hashtag BJ number 4 Kids. So I'll put it in chat. So that'll be our giveaway symbol here.
So we're doing a promotional giveaway for the upcoming Burn Jita
Yes.
for Kids
Yeah.
So
charity.
You could just copy paste, guys. Some of you are actually spelling it wrong. It won't pick it up. You have to actually put the thing correctly, or the system won't pick it up.
I mean, I think it's great that Goonstorm is finally, and the Imperium as a whole is finally coming around
We're
to
awakening, yeah.
understand the necessity. We are awakening. We are being enlightened. We're realizing the necessity of children's charities in EVE Online and how people like Care for Kids are actually well and truly important members of the community doing an important thing. That EVE is not the wrong platform for charities for children. And in order to make up for the error of our ways,
Hey, thanks for
we'll just have to try extra hard to burn Jita for the kids. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean,
we have a lot of lost
Dude.
time to make up for.
I will.
The character Burn Jita for Kids already exists.
Normally I don't get too big into Burn Jita, but this might make me want to do it now. I might FC a big op or two, just because
Somebody has done it. Wow.
Oh,
Yep.
let
Sure
me
enough.
link- let me link
It's
the
linked in
picture.
chat.
Another
That's
I was
donation.
mad and then realized
that is. I
BJ
just
meant Burn
don't
Jita.
even. Wow.
Shirar says I was
Wow.
mad, and then I realized BJ means Burn Jita. $5 donation. Thank you, Shirar.
That's good. Burn Jita is a serious thing. We have an obligation to the community, and as the new vanguards of the movements of charity within EVE Online, the Imperium wants to make sure that everybody understands that this is very serious, and please do whatever you can to help promote this on social media using the appropriate hashtag, because
We're extremely socially conscious around here.
we need to be on message here. I mean, it's for the kids. We've got to be on message for the kids because charity matters, especially
we
EVE
could even
Online.
get Ministry of Truth to make some propaganda for us, and everything. We could make this some serious hilarity.
Yeah, can we have Keith Sweat Twisted in the background while Burn Jita for Kids is talking about?
got one of those like one of those like really soppy kids carry type videos. Oh, for the Alliance tournament coming up in October. Almost forgot. The Alliance
We should have
coming.
ads. We should.
That'll be our ad
for our
yes.
charities about how we're burning Cheetah for the kids.
We get someone to like
I can't see how
stand.
CCP would deny that. And they're a
We get
charity like us.
We get someone to
Very
stand in front of a
socially conscious, I
camera and
guess.
be like, "Do you care for kids? Do you want to see them survive? Well, then come burn the freighters with us on this date."
Can we get a Sarah McLachlan parody song made?
We'll put the Ministry of Truth on it.
Yes!
Do a song about Burn Cheetah for the kids. We are the world, we are the children, but with lyrics involving burning Cheetah.
in the arms of an angel.
Oh,
Macario. In the arms of an angel Macario fleet.
Oh shit!
oh wow.
Oh my
Wow.
god!
Okay. Well, that escalated quickly.
All right, so we're gonna hit the roll button in 5, 4, 3, 2, and where is Wally? Is our winner? Don't forget, you have to be a follower to win. I forgot to mention this before because the way we work is we have to message you and we can't message
Yeah,
you.
so
if you're
where's
not a follower.
Wally?
He
hit us up
replied already.
and,
What's your in-game name? Give me your in-game name, and you misspelled stunt. Oh, I'm sorry, stunt. Anime Shogun is stunt. So, where's Wally? You just need to give me your in-game name, and I'll be able to get you your money as soon as the show ends. Another
The
donation.
Catholic Church is happy to support hashtag.
Well, we're
Be-
getting donations because clearly
Holy
our
shit!
commitment to bettering the world.
All right, I'm gonna let
is,
you see this one. I'm not even gonna read this one this time. I'm gonna let you see this one.
Okay, well, that's probably for the best because we wouldn't want to have people mistake our intentions on any of the things that we're doing.
This donation. Oh my gosh, Gerard.
Oh, wow. I watched Spotlight for the first time, actually.
All right, your in-game name is
It's
saved
a really
up,
good
so
movie.
I'll take care of
It's
that
a
in a
movie
moment.
about the Boston Globe investigating the Catholic Church and
Yeah, that
bringing
was a
that
great-
story
that was a
and
good
the
movie.
relations. Burn
Jesus.
for kids. Oh, God. All right, well, we're done.
Yeah, we're
getting,
done for the
Shout
day.
Chat is next, which is
Yes, Shout
the
Chat.
Arcade Show.
Yep.
People were asking where Laz is. Laz has actually been doing a lot of ass-kicking and taking names in Arcade, and so we're going to have Shout Chat up next, and that is probably not going to involve burning Cheetah for the children, but hey, we're in the charity business now, so what can you do?
Right. All right, well, Mr. Hidden Depth, I'll make sure you get your IFSC in a short bit here, but we're going to get ready for Shout Chat, so, yeah, it's been great. Hey, thanks, Asher, for coming on, and, of course, the
I
Metalia.
think this is my 6th time on as a guest, so
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm setting any records, but I gotta be getting close, right?
Just the fact that we came up with this at the end here, that just makes this the best meta show I've ever done, so, caring for them kids, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Jesus
it's happening. I mean,
We're
this is,
geniuses.
Burn Amar happened when we were at the Madison Monthly Eve Meet one day, and we were sitting around and just sort of shooting the shit. The Viceroy program started there. Some of the best ideas that affect Eve the most come from just random brain farts at, like, Goon Meets or, in this case, on the Meta Show. So, yeah, no, we're going to do this, and we probably won't tell people when we're going to do it because we're just going to... Charity doesn't need a schedule, so when we enact this, there'll probably be no advance warning for the galaxy as a whole, because everybody should always be ready to burn Cheetah for the children, and they should be happy about the surprise aspect. It's like Christmas, except it's burning Cheetah for children.
Yeah.
So,
all right, later, guys. Bye.
We will catch you guys later and see you up next for Shout Chat.
You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.